Pickle, let's go to the hotline. I'm wearing my Lone Star Conference hoodie, and that's not by accident. We're pleased to be joined by the Dave Campbell's Texas Football non-FBS insider, Cory Hogue. Cory, what's up?
I am not wearing a Lone Star Conference hoodie.
Oh, well. Some people
I don't have one, Depper.
Well, some people are afraid to be the best,
Well,
Cory.
man, is that backwards.
Well, I don't know, but you have an award from the Lone Star Conference. I don't feel too bad.
Yeah, that was
for you.
Tepper's consolation prize.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I have a couple of awards and a few cups and some other footballs and things they've given me, so I'm not complaining at all.
A couple of awards. Listen to this guy. Cory Hogue here, our non-FBS insider here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Cory, I want to start with a piece that you've got up that you put up yesterday on TexasFootball.com about the new requirements for FCS teams to join the FBS, or I suppose any team, to move up to the FBS. And the NCAA has made some changes to that. This comes on the heels of Sam Houston making the leap from FCS up to FBS. In talking with coaches around the state who maybe their programs are eyeing the leap to the FBS level, what did these new adjustments from the NCAA do to their plans?
The funny thing, Tepper, and I talked with coaches and also talked with presidents and athletic directors. I wanted to get a full range for that piece, and it really didn't change much, especially a lot of people thought maybe raising from $5,000 to $5 million as the entry fee would change things. That didn't change at all. I guess in some ways, if you're looking up to go to that level, $5 million is not as much as we tend to think it is a lot of times. And they also mentioned that conferences could help cover some of that. But the concerns I get are some of the concerns we're seeing with what's happened with Sam Houston and this move is, are they ready infrastructure-wise? Are they ready facilities-wise? And Sam kind of made that move without really being ready. Mm-hmm. And from a lot of the schools I talked to, they're trying to be ready and at the facility level before they go. We take Tarleton, for example. We know they're trying to move up, and they make no bones about their desire to go ahead and get up as soon as possible. But in the meantime, they're putting in the facilities. They've redone the football stadium. They have plans to redo the visitor side to look like the home side. They're not even done with that yet. They have a $110 million arena for basketball. You look at Abilene Christian, and they've got facilities. They just redid their Moody Center. They're trying to get the full athletic department up to the standard to where when they go FBS, they can compete. And that seems to be the thing, the theme I gathered from talking to everyone.
Talking Cory Hogue, our non-FBS insider here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation and hashtag TF Today. Okay, so elsewhere across the non-FBS world, I want to talk a little bit about the get a feel for what's going on at the FCS level. For a long time, we've with Sam Houston moving up to the FBS ranks. I think there has been people wondering who's going to fill that void as the new power and the new team to beat in the FCS ranks. Now that we're getting towards the back half of the season, do you think that there has been a team that has stepped up and said, yeah, it's us, we're going to be the new FCS power in Texas?
The closest right now is UIW, but the question is it UIW because the Southland isn't as strong as the United Athletic Conference? Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I think this year that has probably surprised me the most is how deep, how tough, how brutal the United Athletic Conference is. That's a good Stephen F. Austin team, good Abilene Christian teams, solid teams. Abilene Christian this year gave UIW a run at home. I'm not sure that UIW is that much further ahead than them, but being in the conference helps. Now, that was a big win at Lamar. They've got Nichols this week. That's not going to be an easy one. Our best national team right now is UIW, but that's only because the UAC is just so darn tough.
Mm-hmm. At the Division II level, a lot of the conversation within the Lone Star State rightly revolves around the Lone Star Conference. And I look at the Lone Star Conference, and for me, I think that there's been a little bit of a surprise as far as the way that things have broken there. It's not it hasn't been Angelo State, which was the preseason favorite, right? Instead, it's been a team like UT Permian Basin, who is 8-1 and looking like the team to beat in the conference. Of course, they finished the season with a date against Central Washington. I want to give you your flowers here. You were early on the UT Permian Basin bandwagon. For you, is the way that the Lone Star Conference has shaken out, is that a surprise to you?
It's not a full surprise. Obviously, I was big on UTPB to start the year, and I may have been the only person to have actually wrote in to have Kenny Hernser, the quarterback at UTPB, as preseason player of the year, because I expected him. He is that good. He is the best quarterback in the league, and that plays a big role. Even in D2, having the best quarterback's a big thing, and we kind of have a bit of a quarterback issue in the Lone Star Conference this year, and I think that's part of what's holding some of the teams back nationally. Angelo State, they've lost a lot. They lost a lot to the transfer portal. They've got the depth, but I think the depth filled in. They don't have the depth behind that. It's interesting to me how UTPB did this. Chris McCullough come in, first season, he already had a talented defense. He knew that. He didn't have to add much to the defense. But what he brought with him was Kenny Hernser, the quarterback, and a lot of transfers. He really went in and took a lot of transfers, had the number one transfer class in Division II, beefed up the offensive line, got that offense to where it produces points. And when you've got a solid defense like they had, that's the recipe that's going to get them possibly a Lone Star Conference title here in a couple weeks. And they're likely in the playoffs if they can just win at least one of their last two.
Cory Hogue, our non-FBS insider here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. To the Division III ranks we go, and there's really only one headline to talk about, and that is Hardin-Simmons beating Mary Hardin-Baylor. And for those who don't recognize what I'm saying, that is a huge, huge development in the Division III world in the American Southwest Conference. You wrote on TexasFootball.com about how the history between these two programs, how Mary Hardin-Baylor's had won 20 of the last 21 meetings between them. Just how significant is this win, not just for Hardin-Simmons, obviously, but maybe for the American Southwest Conference writ large?
I don't know that it's actually a good thing right now for the American Southwest Conference. It's a conference that's trying to hang on, and now your big national power has lost 4 games this year and not even going to make the playoffs. That's tough. Hardin-Simmons is a good team. It's no surprise they won. That is a solid team. But things just haven't broke well for UMHB. They had a very tough schedule this year. And then they get into that game, and the thing is, what got me the most, and I think I was listening to Larry Harmon's press conference yesterday. He was upset with how they lost. They felt they cost themselves with a lot of personal foul penalties and had about 115 yards in penalties in that game, and that was the thing that I think was most disappointing. That's not something you normally see from Mary Hardin-Baylor, and I know he's got plans to get that corrected. Really, right now, there's a thing, Tepper, where we had that COVID year. Mm-hmm. And so Hardin-Simmons had some super seniors come back. Trinity is loaded with those super seniors. They're going to, this year, next year, they're going to start phasing out. What have these teams done behind that? Mary Hardin-Baylor lost a lot of their super seniors last year, so their team is mainly young. They have a sophomore quarterback, a lot of new linemen. Mm-hmm. Their defense was experienced. I think maybe next year and the year after, we're going to see Mary Hardin-Baylor be back to their dominant selves. I think right now, really the whole thing that mattered this year was those super seniors. I think it really hurt them.
Finally, we're heading into another week of a big week as we come down the stretch of football season as the weather is getting a little bit colder. What are the games this weekend that you're going to be keeping an eye on?
Well, first game is UIW hosting Nichols. That is a big, big game, and it's actually pretty big slate. There's a lot of games with a lot of conference implications on the line this week. I'm watching Texas A&M Commerce. I'm watching Tarleton SFA. You talk about a really interesting game. You've got Tarleton coming off their first win over a ranked Central Arkansas squad, and an SFA team that's kind of reeling, really good, but can Colby Carthel get them ready? That's on the road, too. It's a hard time to go win there in Stephenville now. So those are two teams with a little different momentum. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Sol Ross, Howard Payne, very interesting. Howard Payne's been, they got beat by McMurray, and McMurray, by the way, is one of the surprise teams this year. Mm-hmm. They've really been playing well with Jordan Neal over there. But Howard Payne, they've been a little bit down the last couple weeks. Sol Ross has had a lot of injuries. How's that going to play out this week? And then if you ever want to talk junior college, you've always got big games. And Navarro Tyler this week might be the biggest of those to decide who's going to get one of those playoff spots in the SWJCFC.
He's Cory Hogue. He's our non-FBS insider here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. You can see his fine work on TexasFootball.com. Cory, appreciate your time, my friend, and enjoy the games this weekend.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
There he goes. Cory Hogue, our non-FBS insider, an encyclopedia of non-FBS football.
Literally.
It's a shocking. He's the guy who, we'll be in our editorial meeting, mm-hmm. and we'll be talking about something. He'll be I don't know. They'll be talking about, oh hey, Carter Yates. Carter Yates is going to Texas and Kansas State.
Yep.
Right, big game. Big Big 12 implications, and he'll just chime in and he'll be like, guys, that's nothing. There's 8 giant games.
Yeah.
In Division III.
I'm working on the Purple Poo story.
Working on the Purple Poo story. That story, by the way, if you haven't read that article
awesome.
that he about the Purple Poo, that's excellent.
Awesome.
The other article about the changes to the NCAA made mm-hmm. as far as the jump is concerned, Sam Houston, unfortunately, may end up being a bit of a cautionary tale.
Yep.
For the moving up to FBS. Anyway, it's a great read on TexasFootball.com. Hope you'll go check that out. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.